She wore the crown of Austria, yet she was far more than just a queen. She was the living embodiment of power, will, and intellect. Her gaze was like a flame that both terrified and mesmerized, a fire capable of shaking an entire empire. Every step she took, every decision she made, left an indelible mark on history. Maria Theresa, a mother of 16, yet a formidable leader in Europe's political and military arenas. She was not confined by the walls of palaces. Her determination radiated across the continent. Maria Theresa was not weak, not merely persistent. She was a force that challenged history itself. Everyone knew her as a queen, but she carried within her the very spirit of an empire. Fact 1. Childhood and early years in the palace. On May 13, 1717, a child was born amidst the grand and gleaming walls of the Habsburg Palace in Vienna. Her name was Maria Theresa. She was not just a child of a family. She was born to shape the future of Austria and the Habsburg dynasty. Her father, Emperor Charles VI, was a powerful and ambitious ruler, striving to protect Austria's borders. Yet the palace walls were filled with political intrigue. Her mother, Elizabeth Christine, delicate and gentle, tried to be a protective presence in the harsh world of palace life. From a very young age, Maria Theresa began to feel the weight of the demanding and intricate world of the Habsburg dynasty. Her days were not only filled with games and childhood pleasures, but also with the subtleties of palace politics. Every step, every glance, every gesture was observed. The future leader of an empire was being shaped. In her father's eyes, she was both a beloved daughter and a promise for the empire's future. Palace tutors introduced her early to history, politics, languages, and military strategy, knowing that a future female leader in the Habsburg dynasty had to be prepared for everything. Even as a child, Maria Theresa realized that preserving her heritage and ruling the dynasty as a woman would not be easy. Yet within her, a determined, intelligent, and strong spirit was gradually taking form. This child would one day change the fate of Europe, protect the empire, and leave her mark on history. And that journey had already begun in these early years. Fact 2. Ascension to the throne. The woman who shook Europe. In 1740, a monumental change swept through the Austrian palace. Her father, Emperor Charles VI, had passed away, and the crown of the Habsburg dynasty now rested on the shoulders of a single woman, Maria Theresa. But in the 18th century Europe, ascending the throne as a female ruler was far from easy. Many nations refused to recognize her inheritance. Succession disputes erupted, and Austria's neighbors saw weakness as an opportunity. Prussia, Bavaria, and other European powers challenged her claim. Wars broke out, and alliances were formed against her. Yet Maria Theresa did not back down. Despite her youth, she proved herself both a skilled political strategist and a fearless leader. Her ascension was not just a ceremony, it was a declaration to Europe. A woman could be strong, determined, and capable of shaping the fate of an empire. Fact 3. Throne disputes in the Silesian Wars. When Maria Theresa ascended the throne, the political landscape of Europe shifted dramatically. Her being a woman was seen by some nations as a sign of weakness, and many powers sought to exploit it. Frederick II of Prussia invaded Silesia, shaking Austria's borders, while Bavaria, Saxony, and other states challenged her claim, believing the time had come for a weak ruler. Yet Maria Theresa did not retreat. She was not merely a queen living behind the elegant palace walls. She was a leader with strategic vision, military acumen, and diplomatic skill. She modernized the army, consulted with her generals, forged alliances, and carefully calculated every move to protect Austria's interests. Every battle, every negotiation at the table, proved Maria Theresa's strength. Her determination and resolve ensured not only Austria's survival, but also its respect across Europe. As a young woman, she left her mark on these great political and military crises, remembered in history not just as a queen, but as a leader who reshaped the course of her time. Fact 4. State reforms and governance. Maria Theresa was not just a queen, she was a leader determined to preserve the strength and stability of the Austrian Empire. From the very first day she ascended the throne, she began implementing reforms across the palace and government offices. She reorganized the bureaucracy, modernized the tax system, and took measures to increase the state's revenues. Her goal was clear: to make the empire strong, resilient, and modern. She also strengthened the army, improving its structure and tactics, knowing that a well-governed state must be protected not just by palace walls, but by a powerful military. At the same time, she invested in education and culture. Schools were established, education was promoted, and initial steps were taken to advance women's learning. Because she understood that a nation is only as strong as its informed and knowledgeable citizens. Maria Theresa's governance was strict, yet intelligent and purposeful. Every decision, every reform reflected her concern for the empire's future. She did not merely protect Austria from present crises, she built a stronger and more stable state for generations to come. Her leadership, strength, and vision left an indelible mark on Austrian history. Fact 5. Personal life and family. Maria Theresa was not only a leader carrying the fate of an empire, she was also a mother and a wife. Her personal life was far from easy, overshadowed by the harsh realities of palace politics. Yet she maintained a delicate balance between love, responsibility, and power. Maria Theresa gave life to 16 children, each one not just a member of her family, but also a symbol of hope for the future of the Austrian Empire. Her relationship with her children was both loving and disciplined. From an early age, she instilled in them responsibility and knowledge, knowing that one day they would become heirs to the throne and leaders of Austria. Through her children, Maria Theresa sought to strengthen the future of her empire. The elegant palace walls, political games of the state, and the harshness of wars, all these affected her personal life. Yet Maria Theresa managed it all. She was a strong leader, a compassionate mother, and a woman who left her mark on history. Her life shows that true greatness is measured not only by political will, but also by love and responsibility. Fact 6. Religious and Enlightenment policies. Maria Theresa was not only an emperor, she was also a leader with profound influence over matters of religion and enlightenment. In the palace and across Austria, the power of the church was immense. Yet Maria Theresa understood that the strength of the state relied not only on religious authority and palace protocol, but also on education and intellectual development. She promoted education, increased the number of schools, and implemented reforms to raise the knowledge of the people, alongside the education of her own children. The education of women was also a priority, for she knew that the power and intellect of future generations began with learning. At the same time, Maria Theresa sought to maintain a balance between church and state. She respected religious rules, but upheld the principle that state affairs took precedence over ecclesiastical interests. A bold and rare stance in an era when the church wielded immense political influence. Maria Theresa's religious and Enlightenment policies demonstrated that her leadership extended beyond power and military success. She was a ruler deeply invested in the intellect, education, and cultural development of her people. These policies laid a solid foundation for Austria's future generations and made her legacy truly enduring. Fact 7. Influence on culture and the arts. Maria Theresa was not only a political and military leader, she was also a source of inspiration that elevated Austria's culture and the arts. During her reign, the palace was not merely a center of state affairs. It became a vibrant hub filled with music, painting, theater, and cultural events. She supported palace artists and composers, promoted operas and ballets, and transformed the court into one of Europe's foremost centers of art. Under Maria Theresa's patronage, Austria also became a beacon for the spread of Enlightenment ideas and cultural advancement. Her aesthetic taste and dedication to culture did more than create elegance within palace walls. They provided Austria's people and future generations with a legacy of cultural richness and inspiration. Maria Theresa demonstrated that a leader could leave a lasting mark on history, not only through armies and politics, but also through art and culture. Fact 8. Personal strength and character. Maria Theresa was not just a queen and the leader of an empire, she was a strong, determined, and resolute woman. Palace intrigues, wars, raising her children, and safeguarding the fate of Austria. All of these were part of her daily life. Yet she always remained calm, thoughtful, and purposeful. Her character combined firmness and compassion, clever diplomacy, and decisive leadership. Maria Theresa never shied away from making difficult decisions, always putting the welfare of the state and her people first. Every action, every choice revealed the depth of her strength and character. This woman left her mark on history as both a strategist and a mother, a true symbol who protected her life and her empire. Maria Theresa's personal strength and character show that a woman can leave an enduring impact not only within palace walls, but on the course of history itself. Fact 9. Maria Theresa's role in Enlightenment and women's education. Maria Theresa was not only a leader protecting the power of the empire and the state, she was also a woman deeply committed to enlightenment and education. In her time, schools in Austria were few, and education was largely inaccessible to the general population. Yet Maria Theresa understood that the intellect and knowledge of her people were the empire's greatest strength. She established new schools, improved the quality of teachers, and worked to make education accessible to everyone. The education of women was a particular focus. She believed that women could be influential not only at home, but also in public life and state affairs. These efforts contributed greatly to the spread of Enlightenment ideas in Austria and the modernization of society. Maria Theresa's emphasis on education shows that her leadership was not limited to armies and politics. She strengthened Austria's future through the intellect and knowledge of the next generations, highlighting the role of women in society. This legacy enhances her historical significance, making her remembered forever as both a leader and a symbol of enlightenment. Fact 10. Death and legacy. In 1780, Austria reached the end of an era. Maria Theresa, with a life spanning 63 years and over 40 years as queen and imperial leader, left an indelible mark on Austrian history. The wars she endured, the reforms she implemented, the palace intrigues she navigated, and the personal sacrifices she made transformed her into not just a queen, but one of Europe's most powerful and influential female leaders. After her death, the empire and her children carried on the legacy she had established. Education, culture, military strengthening, reforms, and the upbringing of her children. All these were part of the enduring heritage Maria Theresa left for Austria and Europe. Historians remember her not only as a leader, but as a woman who changed history and became a true symbol of strength. Maria Theresa's life demonstrates that a woman can leave an irreplaceable mark not only within palace walls, but on the battlefield, at the diplomacy table, and in the lives of her people. Her leadership, power, and vision transformed Austria and bequeathed a lasting legacy to future generations. If you enjoy incredible historical stories like this, subscribe to our channel, like the video, and share it. Stay tuned for more dramatic, fascinating, and unforgettable stories in our upcoming video.